Today we've got Christian Sadler is going to be our instructor. Here in Renatus, we've got such wonderful leadership, and in Team Elevate, we've got the best. We know they're the best, and these guys, every one of them are fantastic. Our leaders, we're grateful to have Christian with us. And again, if you want to go someplace, follow someone that's been there. Follow someone that knows the area. Christian knows success. He's been a real estate investor. He's an entrepreneur. He's a mentor, and he's here with us today to help us be the very best we can be. Christian, how are you today?
I'm wonderful, Ron. Can you hear me okay?
You betcha.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And by the way, I love what you're doing with these webinars now, using these PowerPoint slides and just giving us some good inspiration in the morning and reminding people to get registered for the events. Now, I will start off the day just to calm everybody's nerves and let you all know that we understand there's some glitches right now with the back office, right, with the business center. And so don't worry, we don't all need to call corporate, okay? You can always send an email in if there's something specific that you need. But we, as of right now, we will be able to, call corporate once we start into the day. And yeah, that's kind of where things are at. There's a bunch of glitches going on, and it's not just here locally, it's nationally. So no big deal. The corporate team, I'm sure, will get on it and get it handled very quickly. So what I wanted to talk about, actually, I did a Facebook Live last night about where I think some of you that are on this line may be thinking that you have to create your success alone, right? There's this misnomer out there that says, self-made millionaire, self-made man, self-made woman, self-made business owner. And the truth is, if you ask any successful people and you talk to them about being self-made, they're going to laugh at you. There's no such thing as self-made, folks, okay? So pull up a whiteboard here. All right, welcome. Just draw welcome here. I don't have anything to share necessarily as far as my screen, but I'm going to give you guys a big welcome. And back to the topic at hand. I would like you guys to think about who you have on your team and stop trying to go it alone. Stop thinking that you're going to be self-made, right? That's not the way the world works, okay? If you subject yourself to loneliness, then it's going to be very hard and very difficult to get anything done. And quite frankly, you leave yourself open to a lot of risk. So what you want to do is surround yourself with amazing people. Now, I know if you're on this line, I might be preaching to the choir in some sense, but I'll bet there's areas of your business right now that you may be trying to go it alone. You may be thinking that you have to do this on your own. And that's what I want to help you guys get over, is I want you guys to realize that if you are wanting to do lead generation and you're thinking that you've got to go out there and drop cards alone and do those things, I'll tell you what, the way that I connected with the business partner that I have that is an absolute blessing in my life, Steve Myers, is from collaborating on getting out lead generation. Now, I wasn't putting out lead generation for him, and he wasn't putting lead generation out for me, but we came together and connected, and we would go out and do roadside signs together. We would go do drop cards together, and quite frankly, it's more motivating, right? You're more likely to get it done if you connect with somebody else in the community that can be kind of like an accountability partner, so to speak, right? So think about that. Think about what and who can be your accountability program, right? Who can assist you in getting you to where you want to go. And it doesn't have to be, a leader in the business, right? When me and Steve were getting started, nobody really knew who we were. So therefore, we just went out there and we did it. We would be the first ones at the office in the morning and the last ones to leave. And even if you don't have an office, the reason that we were there is because we had scheduled, prior to that we were going to meet at a certain time at a certain place, and we were going to put together, sandbag flyers, or we were going to write out our signs, or we were going to do whatever it is that we were, doing. And I see a lot of people that I think are getting frustrated with the business because, quite frankly, when you talk about the amount of, well, let's just stick with the drop cards, for example, that you need to get out in order to get a lead, folks, you're going to get less than 1% response, right? In fact, for a lot of you, you're going to get less than 0.5% response on your drop cards. So therefore, you're going to need to go out there and get thousands, right? Thousands of these drop cards out in order to get enough leads to move people through the system and get somebody enrolled on your team. So putting out thousands of thousands of drop cards on your own is not nearly as fun as putting out thousands of I keep mixing up my words here, but thousands of drop cards with somebody else. As a matter of fact, what I found is when me and Steve decided to start getting together and do these things, as a team, then pretty soon other people started hearing about it and saying, hey, I'd like to get together and go do some drop cards with you. Hey, I'd like to get together and put some roadside signs out. And some of my fondest memories of the beginning of this business is those times that I was out with good friends, right? People that became good friends, and laughing and joking and running our business and just having fun with it. Going out and doing sandbag flyers and, all the different things that we had accidentally hit with our flyers, right? I mean, I remember hitting a wagon that was being pulled by a kid. I remember hitting a deer that was jumping up the side of the road. Now the deer wasn't necessarily an accident, but it was kind of just a reflex, right? It was just something there, and I threw the sandbag flyer, and of course didn't hurt anything. We're talking about sandbag flyers, so no big deal. But there's a lot of fun that you can have with doing this as a team. So I want you guys to consider that. Okay, consider running your business as a team. But also when you start thinking about real estate, right? A lot of you are thinking that I've got the education and I've got these tools, so I don't necessarily need to have a team. I'm going to go out there and do this on my own. And you are mistaken, right? It's going to take you doing some things on your own, yes. But you've got to have the right team in place. So I want you to start thinking about who you need to have in your corner. Do you need to have a real estate agent that's on your side, that's on your team, that's willing to work in and on your behalf? I would guess that's probably somebody you want to connect with, right? Do you want to have a mortgage lender, or more importantly, multiple mortgage lenders? People that specialize in different types of loans, because most mortgage lenders will tell you, well, I have access to any of the programs that any other mortgage lender has access to, and that is true in some aspects for somebody that is a wholesaler in mortgage, but they only have access to what they know about and what they're able to find for you. So if they don't specialize in commercial property, they're probably not the person you should go to get you a loan on a commercial property. If they don't specialize in loans for stated income, for example, then you're probably not going to go to them. In fact, they'll tell you that it can't be done, right? And some of you guys are probably saying that right now in your head. You're probably saying, oh, they don't have those programs anymore, right? Because somebody has told you that you can't qualify for a loan unless you have 2 years tax returns and you have your business established and yada, yada, yada. And I will tell you right now, folks, that's actually not true, right? I'm in the process of getting a mortgage right now using strictly bank accounts, right? Strictly bank statements, and the bank figures it out. So there's a lot of things that can be done if you have the right team in place. And sometimes it happens to be that you have multiple specialists in different areas of your business. In fact, when we go back to the realtors and you think about the realtors that you want to have in place for real estate, have multiple, because you're going to need multiple opinions. Because if someone brings you a deal, you always want to verify your values using somebody that is not connected to the transaction. Let me just reinforce that. Use somebody that is not connected to the transaction to help you with your evaluations, because naturally, as humans, somebody who is going to make money from the transaction is going to sway the numbers in their favor, or in the favor that is going to put food on their table. Okay, so make sure you guys are doing that. When we go further down the line, when you think about, if you're going to be remodeling a property, well, there's a lot of people that you're going to want to have in place in order to have on your team to move things forward and get things done. So really, I just wanted to to kind of highlight the fact that, folks, it's time to build yourself a team. A lot of people want to have this quantum leap success, right? They come in here and they sign their IMA agreement and they spend $20,000 on their education. And a month later, they're looking around and saying, where are my results, right? Why don't I have a $100,000, transaction in the pipeline like Christion does? And folks, it's because you haven't paid the price. You haven't done the work. You haven't, built the team. So embrace where you are. Embrace being new. Embrace the part of the process that you're in, because that's where magic happens, right? You guys probably think that $10,000 check you get is going to be the magic. But I'm telling you right now, when you look backward, it's going to be the process of helping somebody change their life that is the magic, right? And I just heard somebody is coming off of mute. Somebody trying to ask a question? What's going on here? All right, let me just check on something real quick, folks. We got somebody off of mute. All right, got it handled. So, folks, you got to pay the price. You got to pay your dues, and the fastest way to get through that process is to surround yourself with a team. So start thinking about the different IMAs that you've met, right? The different team members that you've met as you've gone to events. And if you're saying, well, I haven't really met that many people, first thing is probably time you start attending more events. And if you're saying, well, I'm attending events, but I'm not meeting people, then I would like to give you guys the opportunity. I would like to suggest to you guys to open up a little bit more and start connecting with people just to connect with them. Don't worry. They don't have to be the person that you partner with or work with or anything else, but start connecting with people and understanding their stories. And what you'll find is it doesn't only build your network, it doesn't only build your connections, it actually builds your belief. Because pretty soon you're going to connect with person after person after person who is having success with this business, who's been able to change their life or change their mindset or change their network because of what we have in place here. So let me just give you a simple strategy, a simple way to start connecting with people inside the team and outside of the team, right? So let me just erase this real quick. And we're going to use the word form. Some of you have seen this before. Some of you haven't, right? So if you would like to be able to start a conversation with somebody, right, start off with this process. This is a really great way to be able to connect with people that you don't know. So the F stands for family. Start asking about a family, right? Hey, do you have a family? Hey, do you have a wife? Do you have kids, right? Did you grow up? Did your family grow up here in Utah? That's a really easy way to start the conversation. People like to talk about themselves. And so in order to start building your team and start connecting with people, use this little formula, right? Start with talking about their family. Next is occupation, right? Occupation. So, what did you do for a living before finding Renatus, right? How did you connect with Renatus? What were you doing beforehand? Those types of things. The R stands for recreation, right? So with recreation, what do you like to do for fun? Now, here's the thing. Get creative with this. Don't use the simple ones. Don't say, do you have a family? What did you do for work? What do you like to do for fun, right? Maybe start off with that if that's easiest, but you'll find creative ways of doing that. So instead, with a big snowstorm that comes in, right, you can say, have you been out skiing? Do you ski? You can ask them about something that is fun, right? Let the conversation naturally get to what type of recreation, what type of occupation, what type of family that they have. And you'll find if you're using this formula, it actually usually flows pretty simply. So the next one, the M, usually stands for either message or money, right? So if you feel like you're connected with this person and you feel like this is somebody that maybe you would like to to work with, if it seems like somebody that has similar ideals to you, you can say something like, hey, I've been considering getting, or in fact, I would probably start off with a question of what type of lead generation are you doing right now? And let that conversation go. So maybe you go with, marketing. Maybe you switch that message to marketing, right? And what type of lead generation are you doing in your business right now? How are you running your business? And then you can start off, and then you can go to an invite, right? Hey, I'm going to be going and doing drop cards in the mornings. I was looking for somebody that might want to go do some drop cards with me. Is that something that you would like to do? Be prepared that some people are going to be scared to death about going out in the cold and putting cards on people's cars, in apartment complexes and at movie theaters and things of that sort. So you're going to get some no's, but you'll connect with some people that want to go ahead and run this business with you and are actually seeking the same thing you are, seeking somebody that's like-minded that that they can do business with. Now, this form strategy for conversation actually works really well with new prospects as well. So when you're in line at the grocery store, if you're having conversations with people, it's easy to start having conversations with people around you, and do it just for practice. And if it leads to you making an invite, all the better, right? I was doing this while I was in New York, right? There's people all over the place in New York when you're walking around. So I started having a conversation with a guy who was, helping to clean up the trash. I started talking to him about, his occupation, because that was the first thing that was there, right? As we were going up to see the Empire State Building, I started having a conversation with the people behind us, right? And, I started asking them about where they were from, right? And I made a little bit of an assumption, and guess what? I was wrong. And they automatically connected with me about what was right about my assumption, right? So I asked if they were from Cuba, just based on their accent and whatnot. And they said, no, Puerto Rico. However, you're right, in the Caribbean, and we started having a conversation. Now, it didn't necessarily lead to an invitation in this scenario, but it's fun to practice, to just get along with people. Just, get a practice of connecting with people around you. And you'll learn, if you do this enough, there's going to be people that pop up where it's very simply to talk to them about their family, talk to them about their occupation, talk about what they do for fun, and then go to your message. They're going to ask you at that point, what is it that you do? And that's when you can say, I help everyday people learn real estate investing and setting themselves up for a true retirement through passive income. Some type of message about what you do and how you do it. So I got to jump onto another leadership call, folks. I hope this was powerful for you. I hope it gets you thinking more than anything of who it is that you need to get on your team, and that you're not going to build this business alone, and you shouldn't build this business alone. We're here to build this business as a team. And I hope to see more and more people collaborating on getting their lead generation out and making things happen. So thanks for joining us, folks. Get out there and make it a great day.